Thompson, and I loved it. And and my kids we had a summer cottage in Indiantown, and next door my sister had a summer cottage, and their kids and my kid, they were cousins, and they were really close. And they'd go out, and we had a fiberglass trip. It was called. It's made up in Rhode Island, I think.
Yep.
See, I felt it was not a good boat. And the bottom cracked, and don't ask me how. And then of course the engine went bad, so we ended up no boat. We gave the boat away for covering storage fees. My son said, "Let's build one." That's a good idea. So we decided we wanted a boat that looked very old. So we decided on a 1930 vintage Chris Craft, something like that. And there's a guy by name Ken Hankinson. I don't know.
Yes, I know his name, yeah.
We bought his plans. He had a boat on his website, but and then one day he just closed everything. And Glen-L now sells the plans. And my son told me the other day they cost $17 now to buy his plans. So anyway, I'll show you the final product. A helicopter flew over and took pictures. And this is awesome. How sweet is that?
You don't usually get aerial assistance on photographing.
Unreal. Hey, look at it, look at it. My son took a picture of it, and then on the side it told who to call to get your photograph. And we're taking photographs of both, so I got several of that. That's the final product of that boat. It went in the water in 2003.
How long is this boat?
23 foot to the inch.
That's quite a craft.
It was supposed to be 22 feet 11 inches, and I put the last frame on the wrong end of the pencil mark. So the boat's an inch longer than it should be.
That's a good thing. What do you power it with? What did you power it with?
Right now, it's got a small block Chevy, and it's way overpowered, but that's what was available. The original engine we put in was out of a Sea Ray rebuilt block that we put all used manifolds and used equipment on everything, and it backfired when we got the full power. My wife says, "I'm not going out on that." Then it sprung an oil leak. So we ended up selling that engine, and out of Doug Russell Marine up in Worcester specializes in repowering boats, and we got hold of him and we went up there, and he, the first thing he says, "Where'd you get the boat?" And I said, "Well, I built it." And he says, "You built it?" He says, "I got a good deal for you. People come here don't even know how to wax boats." And so he gave me a great deal. And it was the engine that fit the boat, but it's 315 horsepower, which is
Oh my
way too much
God.
for the boat.
Wow.
That's
Everybody did sink it.
We got a ground rule, you don't open it full power.
Oh, yeah.
And we did pop some of the stringers in the bottom, and so we glued that back in with gussets and stuff
Oh,
like
boy.
that. But it's a great
What was the power in the previous motor?
200.
Wow. And was that a little more realistic, or was that even more than?
Realistic. We just don't open it up. And of course, it's a sheltered water boat, so we have to be careful about the waves.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because we're in salt water.
what is the boat? The wood that you use for your build with?
Well, I used a lot of different woods.
Story behind that.
Softwood, hardwood.
It looks like it's built. It's actually a plywood boat.
Oh, really? It looks like mahogany, but I guess
It
that
is.
would be. It is,
But I
okay.
have to show you. I gotta show you the pictures.
All right, good. All right.
It's really nice.
So, Ken Hankinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it just, does he give the, you offsets to the stations and
No,
all?
full lofted plan.
You had a loft?
Oh wow.
Comes in a
Oh.
I
big
couldn't
tube.
have, I took that course at Mystic Seaport
Uh-huh.
when I was about 2/3 of the way through this boat.
All right.
A lot of that was a lift lofting.
Uh.
Don't ask me to loft. I'm not sure I can't do it.
Oh, wow.
But his plans come fully lofted,
That's
full size. You just cut them out
Perfect.
in the, I don't know if you could tell back here.
Full size for $17.
That's
No,
incredible.
They were
Yeah.
250 at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And,
I'm assuming the modern ones are not full size. I have a strong feeling there.
Piece of notebook paper.
have
Have at
See,
it.
I'm laying them on the full-size plans here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? They just
That's
show up
nice.
at the door ready to
There you
go.
go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I would think because they were there at Glen-L, and when he sells the plans, they're probably all lofted for you. So this is a cold molded boat. It's actually a plywood boat now. And, no, I'm doing there with cutting. Oh, I'm cutting the plywood for the final coat. That's a piece of mahogany I'm running through the bandsaw, and I'm cutting it 1/8 inch thick.
That's quite a piece of mahogany.
Oh, the mahogany. We started the boat and I needed mahogany, so I started looking at lumber yards, and I ended up a place called Harris, which is now in Parkville and Manchester.
Uh-huh.
They sell everything. And I came in, there was a piece of mahogany 16 inches wide, 8 inches thick, and 16 feet long.
Oh,
And,
oh, wow.
and I said,
Who carried
I'm
that
not
for
sure
you?
the exact dimensions, but I know it was 16 feet long. And I came and I said, I want to buy that. He said, okay. And he's laughing. And I said, what's so funny? He said, that's been sitting here for a couple of years. And a guy came in this morning, wanted to think about it. And you walk in an hour later and stop it up. So, and I'm cutting it there.
We saw that. That's quite a piece of lumber.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I've
no
moved
kidding.
mahogany,
That's my
yeah, no
biggest problem
kidding.
is the way. So then
What did that piece of lumber cost you? Because
it
that's
was $500.
I was gonna say,
Oh my God, could you imagine nowadays what that would run?
the lumberman couldn't afford to
$3,000.
send that over for that. You couldn't ship it for that.
The whole boat, 12-inch wide planks, but we picked out the ones that had the center of the tree in it. So when we cut the center out, we had quarter sawn wood.
Perfect.
So but it was 3/4 of an, 1.5 construction lumber, and the plants called for 1 inch. So we bought a thickness planer, and
It's like a Parks.
we're planing it down, and then we cut it apart to get rid of the centerpiece, so we ended up with quarter sawn lumber. And that's my son. My son and I built it, and I didn't, you need help, you can't do it alone. So that's in the back deck of the house, and when I lived in West Hartford. My parents saw all that. And,
What year did you build this boat?
we started in the late 90s, we ended up finishing in 2003. So there's a lot of downtime, you can't work in the winter. My son got divorced, that was to hold us up. Got a garage, and the boat's 23 feet, that time my garage was only 19 feet, so I said to my wife, I'm knocking the back wall out and building a shed, we're gonna go, and it's like, hell you will.
that went over big, I imagine.
So, anyway, so my son had a freestanding garage in Windsor, and what we did was we knocked the back wall out and moved a tool shed in, poured a new concrete floor,
Oh, wow.
but not a big deal, you know, and we sealed it and we started working in that. And this is just cutting the frames up. And so we ended up with all the 1/4 inch, what we did on the 2 engine stringers, we decided, the plan just called for 1 inch, but we decided we could put a layer of plywood, marine plywood down, and we glued that on. And so we had to adjust the notches and everything, but we did all that, making the engine stringers. And you'll see how we got to this, is just making frames, I don't know if this is. Then what we didn't know, because we were amateur, how accurate the frames had to be. So we got a transit, and we set it up within a 1/16 of an inch, everything, because
That's close.
we did construction things. Then, you know what the most important tool I had doing all this? A big rasp.
Really?
Yes,
I
yes.
used a it's so much easier than trying to use a spoke shave.
Oh, okay.
Just take a rasp and it
Just
cuts it
could
real quick.
cut it real quick and
Yeah.
shape it, get the
And so we're
edges and
shaping
stuff.
We shape the bow there. And
Wow.
this is, you end up with a very conventional frame like
Right.
that. And didn't know what kind of wood to buy, so I ended up getting a Sitka spruce. It was for, somebody bought it for a mast,
Yeah.
and I cut that up and I used it for all my, whether that was the right wood or not. I
It
don't
is
know,
perfect.
But it's in the boat.
That's nice wood.
I know it's strong, but I don't know how it would, weather-wise or for salt water, I didn't know how it was going to work, but it seems to be okay. So that's putting it together. And this is where I made the change. The whole back of the boat was supposed to be like an airtight water flotation pocket. And I was so afraid that over the years, water would get in there and rot it out.
Oh, yeah,
So I
right.
opened up the back and I put lumber holes, I think you call them.
Lumber hole.
Yeah, it's upside down now.
Perfect.
And I put lumber holes in there so that.
That's a good
any
idea,
water that
yeah.
gets
Oh,
in-
so this photo is showing it, it's actually
still
upside
down. Yeah, I sold a whole batch to the light craft company down in Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah.
And I called him and said, will you sell me 20 sheets? And he said, oh, no, I'm not gonna do that. He said, but I got a lot of scrap. And it's always 10 to 12 inches wide and one straight edge. And I bought the scrap, bought a whole truckload of their scrap.
No shit.
Oh, my God.
That's excellent.
How's that? And then my son put it on the internet, and we got a call from Lightcraft Company, please tell all your friends we're selling all the scrap. And I calculated, they sold me the scrap for what a full sheet would have cost, and that was fine with me.
Oh, that's incredible.
So we bought, and then my wife's cousin lives on the Cape, and his job is to haul boats from the Cape to Florida, and, you know, for the snowbirds.
Right.
And on his way back, he stopped in Annapolis, Maryland, picked up all the plywood.
Oh, beautiful.
And brought it up.
Oh, wow,
Oh,
you
that's
lucked out. That's
We ever
beautiful.
lucked out.
You know the right,
I'm putting the things, and if you think about it, I've got these, this is the transom, I guess, right? You've got this way, and all of these are leaking joints, could leak. So you put the next layer on this way, and the only way you have now is you've got a little pinhole leak, possible. And when we ended up, I cut mahogany strips, eighth inch thick. Everything was supposed to be an eighth inch, so I cut strips of mahogany an eighth inch thick, and I glued them on, and that's how you get the appearance of the boat being an old design boat. And there's no leakage, and it's rigid as hell. It doesn't
Oh, I
creak,
bet.
it doesn't squat. So it's that's
you make your own
that's
plywood.
modern construction, but I don't know how the traditional guys like
How did you clamp it when you laminated your pieces?
stapled them.
Stapled
Oh, really?
Manila,
Yeah,
Manila
I
or-
stapled them, and then I pulled all the staples out.
Oh,
you
wow.
know.
Oh, bet you.
I could assume how long that took. Wow. Not a bad idea, though,
Staple
really.
it to a canvas or something like that?
No,
Just pull the
no,
canvas?
I should have done that. I sat there for hours. And the other thing is the staples were Monol. I could have left them in,
Yeah.
but I was afraid that they'd come through, especially on the first layer. When you put the second layer on, when it goes through, they actually stuck in the inside. And I wanted.
What, you were able to see them visibly?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.